Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Te Namah Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us offer our humble salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all gods and goddesses, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to remove all our ignorance, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. Sri Ramakrishna has shown the way to remove our ignorance. It has been pointed out by him very clearly. What is ignorance? Why are people suffering? Because of ignorance. What is that ignorance? Sri Ramakrishna puts very briefly, like an aphorism, I and mine. Every time, millions of times we use I. I did it, I came, I ate, I drank, I went there, I came here, I did this. Million times at least we use I in everyday activity. Million times at least. So, Sri Ramakrishna has very rightly pointed out, it is that rascal that is causing all ignorance. And secondly, the idea of mine, possessing, a kind of foolish involvement or entanglement. So, Sri Ramakrishna pinpoints, look, do you want to be free from suffering? Do you want to enjoy real peace and joy? Are you sincere about your aspiration? Simply telling won't do. Are you sincere? That's important. Your sincerity about your aspiration will come under severe tests in your daily activities. Whether you are acting in a spiritual way, in the name of spiritual activities, or whether you are acting in a worldly way. If you act in a worldly way, there is no need for you to have the guise of a spiritual aspirant and showing, look, I am doing spiritual activity. You are pleasing whom? If you forget your real spiritual aspiration, if you are not sincere enough, you become, or you tend to become, more worldly than the most worldly people in the world. Sri Ramakrishna, referring to this, said, people talk about, oh, this Dakshineshwar temple has been built by Rani Rasmani. Nobody says it was the work of God. They say such a person established Brahma Samaj, a new dispensation founded by Keshav Chandra Sen. But nobody says it was founded through the will of God. This feeling, Sri Ramakrishna points out emphatically, I am the doer. That is ignorance. That is ignorance. And he tells, what is knowledge then? He has clearly said what is ignorance. What is knowledge? O God, thou art the doer, and I am only an instrument. Thou art the operator, and I am the machine. That is knowledge. So if you take this idea into your heart, then that light of knowledge will dispel your ignorance of I and mine. When a person really acquires knowledge, when we say a person is illumined, when we say a person is realized, a God man, he behaves in a way expressing godly qualities in himself. Such a man says, O God, nothing belongs to me. Neither this house of worship, nor this Kali temple, nor this Brahma Samaj. Nothing is mine, they are all thine. Wife, son, and family, and all the things, they don't belong to me. They are all thine. They are all thine. Now we have to come to the point. When you know what is the cause of ignorance, you must try to uproot that ignorance. If you don't act upon, then be prepared to suffer. Even by putting blame on anybody, you won't be free from suffering. On the other hand, you will increase your suffering, because by putting blame on others, you are adding one more impure act. So, the question is how to get rid of this ego, which constantly causes irritation, pain and suffering. Every moment your face, color of your face changes, your movement changes, your talking changes, your actions change, all because of this most wonderful ego which you have cultivated, which you have allowed it to inflate to such an extent you have become slave of your ego. You are prepared to do anything on account for the sake of ego. Anything. Why the worst crime is being committed? Because of the ego. Because of the revengeful attitude. Such and such a person insulted me. He talked abusively. He hurt my feelings. What is this my feeling, your feeling, all sorts of things. That means, what happened to your spiritual aspirations if you are thinking in those lines? So Sri Ramakrishna tells you the way. The way to get rid of ego. There are so many ways. One way is, easy way of course is, you have to surrender yourself to your most beloved God. First of all, you must have complete trust in God. Do you really love Him? That's a big question. Your spirituality begins from that point. When He is your most beloved God, then there should not be any difficulty for you to surrender yourself totally. Self-surrender means surrender of the ego, submerging your own will completely in God's will. Now let us study an example. There is a child. It is playing cheerfully. It wants to climb the upstairs. It came near the staircase. Somehow, by crawling, it came near the first step of the staircase. Then he tries to put his little hands on the step and tries to lift its leg, right leg, to put on the step. It wants to climb. But somehow that doesn't seem to work well. Then he tries to lift his left leg. That too works badly. So the child is struggling this way to climb the steps. In that process, it suddenly falls on its back. It falls with a great thud. Naturally, it got hurt and it began to weep. It began to scream, "Oh, mummy, 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 mummy." began to repeat the japa of mummy. You can see, you don't have to teach how to do japa to the children. They know very well. They teach you. If you have to learn how to do japa, go and observe the children. How many times, how repeatedly, how fast they repeat mummy, mama, 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 like that. It cries and cries and cries. It cannot do anything else. It has not even the will to rise. It doesn't want to do anything else. Just its whole being is concentrated on crying mother. Because the child has tremendous faith and tremendous love with mother. It has got full reliance on the mother. It knows mother will take care of everything. Whatever it wants, the mother will fulfill it. That great confidence. It's all included in its crying. When it cries with that force. And mother too, mother loves the child. All along she was engaged in her work because the child was playing. Now the child is crying. So she drops all the work and runs to the child. So, when the child sees the mother, it again bursts into cries. It weeps all the more, vehemently, indicating that its desire must be immediately fulfilled. That's the idea there. How mother handles the situation. She takes the child in affection, takes it in her arms. She tries to pacify the child. After some time, of course, the child somewhat comforted. Then it shows by its little hand that it wants to go upstairs. So in no time, mother carries the baby up. Already the baby is happy. Though the tears are not yet dried, the child now begins to look around and through the window. He bubbles forth in that sort of irrepressible laugh which babies and saints alone know. Nobody can understand the meaning of the baby's laughter. The baby claps his hands, though they seldom really fall on each other. No pain is now remembered. It's all fun, all joy, all wonder. And mother watches the baby with glistening eyes. This is a hint of what self-surrender to God is like. I told you in the beginning, the only way to handle the most sophisticated ego is just to surrender that ego at the feet of God. One thing must be noted here. It is that The baby cried only after failing in his mightiest self-effort to negotiate the steps, and not before that. First it tried, it failed, then it called for the help. In the same manner, we are all trying to go upstairs. We are all as spiritual aspirants, trying to reach the top, the place of illumination, where there is all fun, all wonder, all peace, and all bliss. We are anxious to reach that place. And at first, vain, self-conscious and proud as we are, we think, what's the difficulty? We shall become pure, we shall conquer Maya. Go jumping up the steps and reach illumination. So, on the very first step, what is that? Self-control. We stumble. We get our ego badly bruised. We catch a glimpse of how terrible is this Maya, which has become the very stuff of our body, brain and mind, which is a warp and weft of this phenomenal world. Maya is so terribly subtle that even when someone says, I shall become pure, even that pious intention also somehow turns out to be the product of Maya or illusion. For what is I? What is impurity? Who can answer this question? Do I know who I am? Do I know what is purity? If I knew who I really am, I would not have to become pure. For I, the Atman, cannot become pure. It is purity itself. It is Maya which puts me into my brain the idea of this little ego, a product of identification of seer with instrument of seeing of the Atman with the body and mind. Probably you are well aware of what Lord Christ has said. It's worth remembering that statement in this context. Lord Christ says, abide in me and I in you. As a branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine, no more can ye except ye abide in me. I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye can do nothing. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. If ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. St. John's Gospel, you can see this quotation. Without abiding in God, or as here in Christ, there is no bringing forth spiritual fruits. Abiding in God, what does it mean? It means to empty yourself of the ego. Emptying your ego is called abiding yourself in God. Allow God to work through you. Surely without me ye can do nothing, for by God alone everything is done. Integration, disintegration, creation, preservation, destruction, everything is done by Him. Even the movement of the blade of grass is by the will of God. We are only His instruments. And when at last, after many trials and failures, we realize this fact that without me, He can do nothing. This you will realize only after passing through tremendous experience of failures and trials and tribulations and sufferings. Then a cry goes forth from the depths of your heart. O Lord, I know what is virtue, I know what is righteousness, but I have not the inclination to practice them. I know what is wise, I know what is unrighteousness, but I have not the power to desist from them. Therefore, O Lord of the senses, indweller of my spirit, I do things as you impel me to do. This is indeed the spirit of self-surrender to God. No use of fretting and fuming, tearing the hair, etc. For truly without Him we can do nothing. This point has been made absolutely clear by Sri Krishna in the Gita. In the course of his teachings, he says to Arjuna, bound by your own karma, that means by your own actions, which is born of your own nature, what through delusion you seek not to do, you shall do even against your will. You are just forced to do. The Lord is really very compassionate, so He is pointing out where exactly we go wrong. Lord Krishna tells further, the Lord dwells in the hearts of all beings, and by His Maya causes the beings to revolve as though they are mounted on a machine. Verily, this divine Maya of mine, says Krishna, consisting of the gunas, it is made up of 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. It is really very hard to overcome. Really very hard to overcome. But then Lord Krishna himself tells, gives a hope. If you take refuge, if you surrender yourself to me alone, certainly you will cross over this Maya. Because who is Lord Krishna? He is the Mayadhipati, given to him by the Adya Shakti, the Divine Mother. Then alone does he say the whole thing as magic, otherwise not. As long as the slightest trace of ego remains, one lives within the jurisdiction of the Adya Shakti. One is under sway. One cannot go beyond her. With the help of the Adya Shakti, God sports as incarnation. God, through his Shakti, incarnates himself as man. Then alone does it become possible for the incarnation to carry on his work. Everything is due to the Shakti of the Divine Mother. When anyone asked the former manager of the temple garden a great favor, the manager would say, "Come after 2 or 3 days." He must ask the proprietor's permission. God will incarnate himself as Kali. God will incarnate himself as Kalki at the end of the Kali Yuga. He will be born as the son of a Brahmin. Suddenly and unexpectedly, a sword and horse will come to him. Adhar returned to the master's room after watching the evening worship in the temples. Master said to the Adhar and others, "Bhuvan was here and brought me 25 Bombay mangoes and some sweets. She said to me, 'Will you eat a mango?' I said, 'My stomach is heavy today, and to tell you the truth, I am feeling uncomfortable after eating a few of the sweets.'" Bhuvana Mohini was a nurse who used to visit Sri Ramakrishna now and then. The master could not eat the food offerings of everyone, especially of physicians and nurses. It was because they accepted money from the sick in spite of the suffering of these people. Master said, Keshab Sen's mother, sisters and other relatives came here, so I had to dance a little. I had to entertain them. What else could I do? They were so grief-stricken. That concludes the chapter 23. Any questions? No questions? No questions means no answers. Now, what did he say that? You read that? That particular 59, huh? Captain says, "I have not acquired any occult powers because I eat fish." I tremble. Yeah. Page 459. Paragraph 7. Anyway, what the captain, his understanding was, one gets occult powers only when one takes only vegetarian stuff and only restricted, adopted special types of food. It is his view. Only people who live on that kind of diet and followed by austerities, they may get occult powers. That's what Sri Ramakrishna is telling him. He understood that way because Sri Ramakrishna was not exhibiting any occult power, though he had all the powers with him. All the powers. In fact, when he worshipped Holy Mother, Shodashi Puja, he offered all those powers to her. And he even offers those powers to Vivekananda. Vivekananda of course refused, but he says, "You need them because you are doing so much work. You need some powers. It is important." Anyway, only that captain couldn't understand because Sri Ramakrishna was not showing any powers, so he concluded that way, that's all. It's not true. It's not true. Eating is all it all depends upon what custom and tradition one follows. Every group, every race has got its own way of taking food. But you have saints in all the sects, in all the races we have got saints. It is not that only a person born in one particular race only will be a saint, not others. No, it is not like that. Throughout the world we have got saints and sages. So it's all relative. If you don't want to take non-vegetarian stuff, follow it. But don't imitate others. And don't pass remarks on others, why he takes, why she takes, like that. You take what you want. You take food according to the digestive power of your stomach. If somebody takes lot of chilies, you don't have to take chili and burn yourself. But the other man need not have to suffer because you don't take chili, he should not take chili. No, don't impose that restriction. You confine to yourself. I don't take salt. Confine to yourself. Don't say, don't put salt. Don't make all the people to take food without salt because you don't take salt. It's all superstition. Whatever that suits your system, do it, that's all. Sri Ramakrishna was free from ego. No, Sri Ramakrishna is telling compassion is a term that is used for God. God only can be compassionate. Others, they can't say he is compassionate to him. That's what he means. God only can be compassionate, not others. That's what he means. And Sri Ramakrishna is none other than God himself. If you have ego and say you are compassionate, that means you feel superior to the other man. That superiority complex should not come there. If you show your compassion out of humility, out of humbleness, then it's a spiritual quality. Yeah. Otherwise, I did so much of service to them, I did lots of help. Because of my compassion only he could thrive, otherwise he would have been in a different state. Like that if you talk, that Sri Ramakrishna doesn't mean that way. Alright, we shall conclude. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drowned deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that bath for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who finds in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as they may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stillest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be free from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.